All right, everyone. So today, wait a minute. Sure. All right. So today we're going to be doing Unit 6, Lesson 4, which is going to be quadratic expressions and equations, transformations of quadratics, okay? So, transformations of the parent function. The most simplistic quadratic equation is known as, I'm waiting for my thing to connect and then I can write it, y equals x squared, okay? And this is known as the parent function. Parent function. Yeah, parent.
Wait, is this a new lesson?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
This is known as the parent function. A transformation is a change to the size, or, we say and or technically, because sometimes it's both, and or position of a figure. Okay? All right, moving on. Now we're going to talk about vertex form and what it means. So vertex form is known as y equals a x minus h squared plus k. So let's talk about the different types of transformations and what they can mean. So the a value controls if the graph is vertically stretched. If the absolute value of the a value is greater than 1, that's what we call a vertical stretch. So that means the graph gets really skinny and stretched out, okay? And then if your a value is, the absolute value of your a value is between 0 and 1, that means what's the opposite of stretching something?
Pulling it.
That would be the same as stretching it, right? Compression.
Compressing?
Yeah, vertical compression. I should write vertical on top.
Do we have to have vertical?
Yes. Because otherwise the compression doesn't mean anything if we don't know what direction. Vertical compression. And then the last type is when we negate the a value. And this is like when you look in the mirror, you see your reflection. So if you negate the a value, it's a reflection, meaning it flips over the, and it's a reflection, and if you want to write over, it's the x-axis, okay? Reflection over the x-axis. And now we're going to talk about the h value. So that's this value right here. And what do you notice about the h value in the formula? It is what sign?
Plus.
What sign is the h in the formula we just wrote? Negative. Okay, so if your h value is positive, when it goes into the formula, it's going to look negative. But when your h value is positive, this is a shift to the right. And when your h value is negative, it's a shift to the
Left.
Good. Shift to the left. And then the last type is the k. So if we're shifting left and right, what do you think the k value is? What other directions could we go?
Up and down.
Up and down, good. So when the k is positive, it's going to be shift up. And when the k is negative, it's going to be shift down. Shift up versus shift down. So any questions about that so far? All right, so let's get back to it. All right, so the directions say graph each function and describe how it compares to the parent function on each graph.
No.
This is the notes. first thing you need to do is you need to look at the equation itself, okay? So we are going to zoom in here.
-1.
So we're going to, underneath it, write the original formula
2 times 2 is 4.
for the vertex. We're not even there yet, guys.
Jet.
I said -1.
What is the x name?
Hang on a sec.
Ever since last week.
You got service?
Get your phone back.
There you go. Miss Russell,
Yeah.
the same thing that I did, that's the reason they called the paramedics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was on a kid that had a seizure because of it.
Wow. All right. We'll talk about that after. We got to finish up our notes, though. Everybody with me? Guys, do you need to move seats or are you good? Because I don't want to deal with this every time we do notes. Okay. Let's finish. All right. So, what you do first is you find, excuse me, the vertex. So, whatever your h value is, Alex, whatever your h value is going to be the opposite in your table, okay? So, my h value looks positive. It's actually going to be a -2. That's always in the middle of your table, the h. Now we're going to do the k. So, is there anything added or subtracted at the end of your function here?
It'll be 0.
Good, it would be 0. So I guess we should have filled this out first. Your a value here is 1 because there's no number in the front. Your h value is -2 and your k value is 0. So this is always h and k. Now the graph that's already graphed on your coordinate plane is actually the parent function.
So x turns into 1.
Um, okay.
Jet, we've been doing this since like last week.
So the a value is the coefficient in front. If there's no number in front, it's a 1, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Then your h value, see how it always changes sign. Do you remember that? It changes sign?
Yeah.
Then your k value is what's added on the end. Nothing added on the end, it's 0.
Now do you
Oh,
understand?
because you used the one below.
Yes. All right. So now we're going to backtrack. What's 1 less than -2?
-3.
Good. And then -4.
And 0.
Good. -1 and 0.
1 and 0.
Remember, these two values match. And these two values also are going to match. So you only need to plug in one set of them. Okay, you only need to plug in one set of them.
-4. No, 0.
One set. So we're going to have to plug in -1 and 0. We'll do that. So let me zoom out. Okay. So we're going to take the equation as it was in the beginning, and we're going to plug in -1, aka we're replacing the x's with -1. That's going to give me y equals 1 squared, which is just 1. So -1, 1. And if that's 1, what else is 1?
The 3.
The 3. Good, the -3. Now that we've done that, we're now going to plug in the 0, okay?
0.
So that's going to be y equals 0 plus 2
2.
to the second power.
4.
Good, that's 4.
4.
So this is going to be 4,
4.
Yes, Jet. It's
and this is going to be 4. Yes, we know it's 4. Okay, we got it. Thank you. So now we're going to plot these. So this is going to be -2, 0. This is going to be -3, 1. -1, 1. 0, 4. And -4, 4. You can still talk during that. We don't need to talk right now. All right.
Jaden, why are you bad talking?
So now we're going to graph this. And now we're going to talk about the transformation. So looking from the black function to the blue function, what happened to it?
It intersected.
Well, they do intersect. It shifted, what did you say? Good. It shifted left how many units?
1. No.
2?
Yes. Left 2 units. So it shifted left 2 units. So see how it just looks like we picked up the graph and shifted it left 2 units. Which makes sense because my h value is -2. H being -2 means it moves 2 units to the left, right? So that's what happened. So does anyone have any questions about the notes so far?
4 and the 1.
Good question. So what you do is you just plug these into the function and then calculate it.
Okay, so then you get your x values and you just go backwards or forwards
Yes. From the vertex.
your
H and K. Yep. Yeah, exactly. You go backwards from the H and then you plug these x values into the equation to get the Y.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
All right, we ready to move on to the next one? We have a few more to do. All right, the next one. What's my A value here? What's the A value on this one?
1.
Good.
Is there any H? Is there anything being added or subtracted from the X?
No, but it's getting multiplied.
Wait, is it K 4 this time?
It is 4.
Is that the last number, right?
Yep. K is the one at the end that's added or subtracted. H is what's inside the parentheses. And A is going to be on the outside in front if there is one. If there's not one, it's going to be,
Wait, so H is
1.
0 because there is no H?
Yeah. Exactly. See how there's nothing added or subtracted from the X inside the parentheses? So now that we have that, H and K go in the middle of your table. So H goes here, and K goes here. So that's going to be H and K, like that. Well, now we have to backtrack, right, to find the other values. So this is going to be -1, -2, 3, and 4. Everybody see how I got those?
Yeah.
Wait, not 3 and 4. What am I doing? 1 and 8. Sorry.
Oh, no, no.
1 and 2. All right. So when you do the calculations, you only have to do a few calculations because these two values are the same, and these two values are also the same. So let's plug in, you want to plug in the positive numbers or the negative numbers? Okay. So we're going to take our equation, and we're going to replace the x with 1, so we're plugging in 1. So what's 1 squared?
2.
1. What's 1 plus 4?
5.
Good. So this is 5, which means that this is also 5. So,
I got a question.
sure.
Oh, so like Indian. I'm not from the
You get it now?
Yeah.
So now what's the next thing we're going to plug in? We're going to plug in the positive 2, which will also give me the negative 2, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be y equals
4.
2 squared plus 4.
So y equals 8.
Y equals 8. So this is 8. And this is
Wouldn't
also...
one of them be a -8 because
Well,
No, because when you square a negative, it becomes a
oh yeah, positive.
positive.
because it's 2 negatives.
Times each other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the rule.
Yes. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 4, -1, 5, 1, 5, negative 2, 8, and 2, 8.
When's Gonzalez coming in?
Yo, what's
I don't know if she's coming today.
Oh, it shifts up this time.
It does shift up, and why do you think that happened?
Because of the K.
Very good, because of the K. Alright. So how many units did it shift up?
4. 4.
Good. Shifted 4 units up. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Everybody ready for the next problem? Alright, let's try the next one. Continue here. So, in this case, what's our A value here?
1
1/2.
1/2.
Wait, how?
A value
Out the middle.
is the one in front of the x squared, okay?
It's not in parentheses this time.
It's what?
I said it's not in parentheses this time.
Good. So there's nothing inside the parentheses, so there's no h, so it's
0.
0. And is there anything added or subtracted at the end?
Nope.
No, so it's 0. So this time your h is 0, your k is also 0. So this is h and k. So we're going to backtrack once again. What's 1 less than 0?
1.
Negative 1. And what's 1 less than? Good.
Then 1, 2.
1, 2. So now we have to plug these values in.
That would be negative 2, 1, right?
Yes, I think so. Let's try it. So I'm going to plug these values in. Now I'm going to choose to plug in the positive ones because they're easier, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to plug in a positive 1. So what's 1 squared?
2. You mean 1?
Goodness gracious. If you're going to learn anything, please learn what 1 squared is. We go over this all the time. 1 squared is 1. All right. What's 1 times 1/2?
Did you mean like a decimal or something?
It's just 1/2. It's just itself.
I was paying attention.
Jay,
All right.
You cannot be talking.
Yeah, I don't know if that's valid yet. All right. Now we're going to plug in 2. So that's going to be 2 times 2 squared. What's 2 to the second
7. 4.
times 1/2?
4.
4. What's half of 1?
0.5. I was trying to do it.
Let me
fast.
finish. What is half of 4?
2.
2.
Was it?
All right, let's graph it. 0, 0, 1, 1/2, and 2, 2.
Yo. Miss Russ, I think Jet need to go back.
I think we need.
It doesn't shift at all.
It doesn't shift at all, but what did it do instead?
Move to 0.5.
Reflect on each other.
Reflection is going to be like a mirror flip. What does this one do? It's one of those options on your sheet.
Comparison.
Compress.
No,
What?
no, I read it wrong. No, I got that right.
You're right. It's a vertical what?
Compress.
Compression.
A compression, yes. It's a vertical compression. So, does everybody see why it's a compression?
Yeah.
It got squished, right? So this is a vertical
Compression.
compression of how much?
1.
Of 1/2. Of 1/2.
Bro, I keep on writing on the wrong one. Damn. Maybe you need glasses. I already have glasses.
A second pair. All right.
I'm not getting disrespected by kids.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's try this one. Let's see if you all got it. This one. All right. So, what is the A value? We can always put a 1 in front of this. -1. What's the H?
-4.
It's always the opposite, so it's a 4. H is the only one that flips, and K is 1. Alright, so this is going to be H and K. We're going to go backwards and forwards. Good. These are going to be the same, and we're going to plug them in. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, so okay,
But
so
you're laughing too, Miss Russell.
not like you are. All right, so we're gonna plug these values into the equation. So this is gonna be y equals -1 times 5 minus 4 squared plus 1. Okay. This class. Alright. So then what's 5 minus 4?
1.
Good. And what's 1 squared?
1.
There we go. So what's -1 times 1?
Positive 1.
No. Yes. Yeah. No, -1.
-1. What's -1 plus 1?
1.
0. If you're in debt $1 and you gain $1, you're out of debt. You're 0 now.
Why don't you just steal $1?
Even if you stole $1, you'd have to pay your debt off, and then you'd still have 0.
No, like you found it on the ground.
Then that's +1. Another +1 at the end.
J.
Alright. Anyways, plugging it back into the equation, we're going to plug in 6. What's 6 minus 4?
2.
What's 2 squared?
4.
What's 4 made negative?
Huh?
What's 4 made negative?
Made negative?
-4.
Oh.
And then plus
yeah,
1.
I was like, made negative. Wait, what do you mean?
-3. You're overthinking it.
No, I saw you use that word, so I was like kind of confused.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So now we're going to plot this. So it's going to be 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 5, 0, 3, 0. It's going to look like this.
Oh, it's upside down.
It is upside down, so this is a what? What do we call that?
The switch thing, the
Mid.
comparison.
It's a mid. Median.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about? Okay, so I think you guys are like
Wait, who are you talking to, me or Jay?
all of you. So listen. All right. So
It did the switch thing.
it flipped. It reflected. So the first thing it did was it
shift down.
it did. It reflected
And to the sides.
over x-axis. It actually didn't shift down. It actually shifted
To the side.
up 1 unit. And then it went, what direction did it go? To the right or the left?
To the right.
The right.
Left.
4 units right. So basically what happened was they flipped it over, and when it flipped over, if it just, I'm going to do like a ghost drawing, so don't ignore these other two if you want. I'm going to flip this over this axis. That's the first thing that happened to it.
Wait, so it's three?
Oh my god.
We flipped it over the axis. What?
A computer crash.
You got booted offline.
As usual. So I flipped it over the axis,
And
okay?
then you move it to the up.
She
up
said
right.
annoyed.
Up
Yes.
right.
You move it up 1, and then you move it to the right 4. So flip it up over. Do you
And
see
then
it?
moves up like 5.
No, no, it only
No,
moves up 1.
1, 5.
Moves
No,
up
up
to
1.
1, 5. Up to 1, 5.
And then right 5.
Yeah, well, no, right
4.
4. Do you see how these
Oh, yeah.
relate
yeah.
to what we're talking about?
Wait, no, why don't we put it for R instead of H so you know it's right?
Oh my god.
because it goes right or left. You know what I mean?